Hari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari, Jai Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari, Yashodanandan Braj Janaranjana, Yashodanandan Braj Janaranjana, Jamna Tira Vanchari, Jamna Tira Vanchari, Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. जय पतित पावन गुरु महाराज की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. So Hare Krishna, welcoming all of you for this Srimad Bhagavatam session. Today's topic is Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter number 9, shloka number 23. And we are discussing the chapter, the passing away of Bhishmadev, who is one of the 12 Mahajans. Please repeat after me. You can be on mute and repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki. So I will just share my screen. I hope you are able to see my screen. Srimad Bhagavatam, first 1.9.23. So if possible, one of you can be my chorus. Bhaktya Vesha Mano Yasmin. Bhaktya Vesha Mano Yasmin. Vacha Yanam Kirtayan. Vachayanam kirtayan. Yajan kalevaram yogi. Yajan kalevaram yogi. Mochate kama karma bhi. Mochate kama karma bhi. So, word by word meaning. Bhaktya, with devout attention, Avesha, meditating, Mana, mind, Yashmin, in whose, Vacha, by words, Yat, Krishna, Nama, holy name, Kirtayan, by chanting, Tyajan, quitting, Kalevaram, this material body, Yogi, the devotee, Muchate, gets released, Kam Karma Bhi, from fruitive activities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The personality of Godhead, who appears in the mind of the devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting of the holy name, releases the devotee from the bondage of fruitive activities at the time of his quitting the material body. Purport. Yoga means concentration of the mind detached from all other subject matter, and actually such concentration is samadhi, or 100% engagement in the service of the Lord. And one who concentrates his attention in that manner is called a yogi. Such a yogi devotee of the Lord engages himself 24 hours daily in the service of the Lord, so that his whole attention is engrossed with the thoughts of the Lord in ninefold devotional service, namely hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping, praying, becoming a voluntary servant, carrying out orders, establishing a friendly relationship, or offering all that one may possess in the service of the Lord. By such practice of yoga or linking up in the service of the Lord, one is recognized by the Lord, by Lord Himself, as it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita concerning the highest perfectional stage of Samadhi. The Lord calls such a rare devotee the best among all the yogis. Such a perfect yogi is enabled by the divine grace of the Lord to concentrate his mind upon the Lord with a perfect sense of consciousness. And thus, by chanting his holy name before quitting the body, the yogi is at once transferred by the internal energy of the Lord to one of the eternal planets where there is no question of material life and its concomitant factors. In material existence, a living being has to endure the material conditions of threefold miseries, life after life, according to his fruitive work. Such material life is produced by material desires only. Devotional service to the Lord does not kill the natural desires of living being, but they are applied in the right cause of devotional service. This qualifies the desires to be transferred to the spiritual sky. General Bhishmadeva is referring to a particular type of yoga called Bhakti Yoga, and he was fortunate enough to have the Lord directly in his presence before he quitted his material body. He therefore desired that Lord stay before his view in the following verses. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeyaham Shri Guru Shrita Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Shah Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvitam Sabhadutam Parijana Saitan Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitam Shahi Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namastute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामी निति नामने नमाचार्य पदाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौर कथा दामोदराय नगरग्रामतारिणे नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्री चैतन्य ईश्वरम्. So Hare Krishna. Today we are going to discuss 1.9.23 and very important shloka in the life of a devotee. So all this while we are discussing about Bhishma Deva, who is one of the 12 Mahajans, and we all know why he took charge to fight against the Pandavas. Of course, it was the instructions of the Supreme Lord. And how great Bhishma Deva is, that is very, very evident from the fact that when he is quitting the body, who is present in front of him? Lord himself is present in front of Bhishma Deva. So that itself defines that, why he is one of the 12 Mahajans and to what an extent a devotee can go if they have to please the Lord, for the benefit of all, for the pleasure of the Lord, how a devotee takes charge of the situation without personal motivation and sense gratification. So Bhishma Deva is here quitting his body, but it's such a auspicious situation where all the wonderful sages are present. He has already provided a lot of instructions to Yudhishthira Maharaj about how to run the kingdom, and Lord has given that special credit to Bhishma Deva because he was a wonderful devotee. And in the end, we see Lord himself is present right in front of Bhishma Dev when Bhishma Deva is leaving this material body. So normally we see that the tendency which we have in our mind when we see people quitting the body. So people are many times scared about this fact that, oh, we have to quit the body and we have to leave this body. They're very, very scared. So why they are scared? The very fact they are scared is because their life is not they have not done any preparation in for the end of this life. They were always making big plans on what to do things, how to do things. But we all know that life is uncertain. And the same question was asked by Yaksha to Yudhishthir. Tell me the most wonderful thing. And Yudhishthir says, Ahani ahani bhutani gachanti Himalayam. He says every second people are dying, but those who are not dying, they are thinking their turn is never going to come. And they are busy. They are busy all the time doing whatever they are doing, except Krishna consciousness. That's the calamity in their life. That's the biggest calamity, a biggest disaster which can happen in the life of a human being who is trying to avoid Krishna consciousness and do all the activities, so-called activities, which is giving them so-called joy. We all know that people work hard. This is a trend nowadays that they work hard 11 months continuously. Why? Because in the month of Christmas, in the month of December, they want to go out for long vacation, maybe world tour or maybe some other places, and they want to see the nature and become happy. But they do not know that the creator of the nature is Krishna. Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Maya Dhikshena Prakriti Suete Sa Chara Charam. He says all moving and non-moving living beings are created by material nature under my direction. That is what is the declaration by the Supreme Lord. So people do not follow this, but they just want to see the material enjoyment for their senses because they like the beautiful rivers, mountains, and etc. So this is a trend. They are spending a lot of time just for this momentarily joy, which they will get once in a year or maybe once in a lifetime or something. But they're working hard, working too much for that sense gratification. But here we see that Bhishmadeva is leaving the body and he is setting a right example, and he is bringing us all in the right consciousness that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. And that is why we must learn Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and learn from the scriptures, and not only learn, but also preach the glories of the Lord. Many times, when you ask people that, do you care about Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Do you care about, especially people who are promoting Hinduism? They are very, very fond of talking about the Lord and Hinduism and other facts. But when you talk to them about following the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, then they easily, they say that they are not following that much, but yes. So if you do not follow the instructions, then that is not respect. People do not respect the scriptures, and that is where this calamity is happening, that they do not know that the real goal of the human life is to go back to Supreme Lord. That is the real goal. Apart and instead of that, they are living their life just like cats and dogs on the street. That's the biggest calamity, because when you talk about the evolution process, 84 lakh species of life, and when we become human, we also have another 4 lakh kinds of consciousness. And then people who come into Krishna consciousness are the top people who are, after so many birth and lifetime, they have realized that surrendering to the Supreme Lord is the best thing for a jiva. So there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita which says, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. So not the foolish, but Jnanavan, Lord is saying, Jnanavan Mam Prapadyante. They come to Lord. And then Lord is saying, Vasudevam Sarvam Iti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. People who consider Lord everything, the boss of the entire universe. Such Mahatmas are very, very durlabh, very, very rare. So when we are in Krishna consciousness, we must consider that we are one of those, rare of the rare creatures on this entire creation who have understood this fact. But after understanding, if we do not follow it properly, then it is such a bigger loss. It is a bigger loss than those people who have not even understood this knowledge. So this is the thing, and you see normally in the movies and TV shows and other things, how they show when a person is quitting body. Either the person is very sad, or person is revealing some secret when they're dying. Like there was a movie in olden days we used to watch. In that movie, the one of the friend is dying because he is shot by a bullet in his chest and he's dying. And in his deathbed, he's talking to his friend. And I think that conversation lasted for I think more than 10 minutes. He is dying and he's going a lot of instructions, telling stories to his friend and showing why he was so much sincere to his friend and so long. But this is not the fact. In reality, this does not happen. When somebody gets shot in chest by the bullet, we have seen, during the war situation and all, and people die in fraction of minutes or seconds, and they are hardly able to speak anything. They're unconscious. But here you see in the movies, they show so many things. Sometimes we see the mother is dying and mother is taking promise, please promise that you are going to take care of my children properly, like that. And the father or the eldest son of the family is promising, yes, yes, mother, don't worry, I will take care of my brothers properly, you do not worry. And then the mother dies peacefully. So in reality, this does not happen. There was a lecture I was hearing from Prabhuji in Juhu temple. So Prabhuji was sharing when this attack had happened in Mumbai, when the terrorists had, attacked Hotel Taj and they were roaming free on the streets. So there was a time when, this devotee Prabhu, he was in front of a hospital which was attacked. And when the bullets were being fired, so the terror was so much that, he was explaining, the terror was so much, the fear of death was so much that they could hardly think of anything. So that is what happens when something like that happens, life and death situation. We do not get a chance to give instructions to our family. And even if we are giving instruction to the family, then we are going to be in the material world. So that is what you see. It is being shown in the movies, in the cinema, but that's not the fact. And I also want to mention one more point. Since I'm from the banking industry, people make big plans. They keep earning a lot of money, and sometimes they do not even reveal to their family members that I have got so much money in their account. So there's something called unclaimed account balance in bank, and that bank has got the highest money. So today, this morning, I was browsing to see. I knew there is a lot of money in the unclaimed account balance. It is the money of those people who have not claimed the amount, either because they are dead or something else. So the bank moves such money in the unclaimed account balance. And what is the amount which is there in the unclaimed account balance with RBI in India itself? In India itself, I'm saying, you will be surprised. You can Google you can search on internet. So this amount is 1,50,000 crores. It is not 1 crore, it is not 2 crore, it is not 10 crore, it is 1,50,000 crores of rupees are there in the unclaimed account balance. You see, people are this money belongs to those people who earned a lot of money, but they did not claim it. They died, and the money is still lying in the unclaimed account balance. So see, this is what happens when we do not prepare for our life, and when we do not utilize our money properly in the service of the Lord. So it is important that we must respect the scriptures, and we should learn from the scriptures and not from the movies or the TV serials. Because if we are learning from all those things, then we are going to be cheated. We are going to be, we are cheated in the end of the life. So the right mood is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. If you refer chapter number 8, so chapter number 8, there are quite a few shlokas which Krishna is mentioning to Arjuna, starting from 8.6. I will just refer quick ones. We all know these shlokas, but yes, just a reminder. So 8.6 talks about the shloka Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam Tyajityante Kalevaram Tam Tatevati Kaunteya Sada Tad Bhava Bhavitaha. So this is very important. Lord is saying, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, then he says, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. So if we are thinking about money, if we are thinking about family, if we are thinking about our cat, our dog, our school, then we are going to, attain that form. We might become a cat, we might become a dog, and then we might be roaming around here and there. And just imagine, to come back to human body, how many lifetime will it require, right? If we don't utilize our human body. So this is the point Krishna is mentioning. He's saying, Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam Tyajit Yante Kalevaram. That is 8.6. And then 8.7, Krishna is saying another shloka. He says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anushmara yudha cha. And then Krishna says, My arpita mano buddhir mam evasya shamshayaha. He says, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. So there is no doubt that we should think Krishna, that, oh, Lord is there in some form. No. Krishna is saying in 8.7 very clearly, he says, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty. So this is also important. Sometimes some people who are new in Krishna consciousness, they want to give up their job, they don't want to work hard, and they think that Krishna consciousness is an easy manner. Let's give up the job and let us just join the temple and be happy. But mind you, it is not that easy as it looks. It's a very, very tough, difficult job, and we should not try to quit the job and join temple just because you want to avoid working hard. You will have to work hard in the temple also. You will have to you ask the brahmacharis how hard they work. They get up early in the morning, then they do all the Mangal Aarti and everything. They complete their sadhana. They have darshan, and then they have Guru Puja. They have they honor prasadam. Then they go out for book distribution entire day. In the evening, they go out for the Nagar Sankirtan. They go out for various house programs. So it is not very easy. We should not try to avoid working, and that is what Krishna is saying, that you should remember my form as Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty. So people who say that people who read Bhagavad Gita, they give up everything, they are incorrect, because Krishna never says like that. He says you do your work properly, your prescribed duty, and with focus on me. So when you do your activities dedicated to Krishna, then our mind and intelligence is going to be fixed on Krishna. So which means when our mind and intelligence is fixed on Krishna, so it means we are preparing well for the end of life, because all the time we are thinking about Krishna only. So what happens when we quit the body? We go back to Krishna. Simple as that. Then Bhagavad Gita 8.7. Yes, I mentioned 8.7. So Krishna is saying, he's saying that you should always meditate on my form. And then there is one more shloka when Krishna is saying 8.10, I think, Antakali cha mameva smaranmukta kalevaram. I'm not sure what shloka it is, but yes, it is one of those series of shlokas. So yes, see, this is the way we should learn from the scriptures, that how we should prepare for the end of our life. Then our life is going to be perfect, and our money is not going to be stuck in the unclaimed account balance, which constitutes of 1,50,000 crores of the Indian rupees with RBI. So that was the point I was trying to mention. It is mentioned very clearly in 8.6 to 8.8. And then there are two small stories I will mention, and I'll try to wind up quickly. So two stories. One, both the stories of this merchant. So one of the merchant, he's very clever, and he has some knowledge of the scriptures. He knows that at the end of the body, he's going to, he's going to quit this body and enter into another body. See, he knows this much, but he's not remembering the Lord. So what he does, he calls two persons in, when he's dying. So one is the accountant, and the other one is the astrologer. So his astrologer is the one who always used to give him advices. So he asked his advisor, and he will ask, tell me in which family I'm going to take birth in my next life. So this astrologer will say, okay, in so and so sampradaya, in this and this family in South India, in Bangalore, you're going to take birth. And then this person, he will call his accountant and lawyer. He'll say, do one thing, identify this family and transfer my entire wealth to that family. Why? Because in the next life, I'm going to take birth there, and I don't want to lose my money. So I'm very clever. So he says, transfer my entire money to this family in South India and so Sampradaya, so that I get that money. So see, this kind of preparation is a foolish preparation. It is the number one foolish preparation, because he's transferring his money, believing on the astrologer's word. You never know whether you're going to become a human or not. That itself is not clarified. But of course, that family would have definitely benefited out of this decision of this person. And I wish if that family was a devotee family, then it was nothing like that, because the devotee is going to utilize his money properly. Yes, so this was the story of one merchant. There was another merchant, so who is also very much attached to his job, his business, his shop. So he's dying, and on his deathbed, he's remembering, oh, where is my eldest son? So they will say, oh, you don't worry, your eldest son is here only. Then he will remember, okay, where is my second son? So the second one say, my dear father, don't worry, I'm here with you, do not worry. Then he will say, okay, where is my third son? So the third son will also say, I'm here, my dear father, towards your right hand side. Please do not worry. We are all here for you. So he'll become angry. He'll say, you foolish people, you are all here. Then who is taking care of my shop? So see, his consciousness is stuck with the shop. So he's not going to again get, this person is also not going to go back to Godhead. So you see how people miss their chances because their preparation is not good. The preparation which they are doing for the death is not at all good. So we have to understand that this life is a preparation and death is the examination. Just like Vishnu Deva, how carefully he led his life and how carefully he is remembering the Lord, and Lord is also coming in front of him. And sometimes devotees have this doubt in their mind that, at the end of the life, you never know whether I'm going to remember the Lord or not, because my chanting is like a chanting of a parrot. Yesterday I was mentioning in the Sector Sunday feast. So like a parrot, if you train a parrot to say Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna, in North India, people have the parrot in their houses. And when you enter the house, so the parrot will say, who are you? Welcome. Like that, he is trained. So the parrot will speak and everybody will be astonished. Oh, the parrot is talking. But this parrot is not genuinely talking. He is just trying to, repeat some words. So if our chanting is like that parrot chanting, Prabhupada is saying, if you're chanting like a parrot, just like Hare Krishna without any feeling, then the chanting is not going to help so much. It might be a little helpful, but it is not going to help so much. And just like parrot, when the cat is catching the neck of the parrot is not chanting Hare Krishna, but chanting, but shouting time, time, time like that, because the parrot is dying. So similarly, Prabhupada says that if your chanting is not proper, then at the time of death, you're not going to remember the Lord. Chanting is going, you're also going to, shout or cry or something, but you'll never remember the Lord. Like it happened to us when we went to, I think some yatra we went and some monkeys attacked. So nobody was calling Krishna. Everybody was, started shouting on monkeys or running here and there. Then we realized that how much Krishna conscious we are. We're not even calling Krishna. So yes, so many times this doubt can arise in our mind that what if we are not able to remember Krishna. So see, this condition applies if we have led our entire life, serving the Lord, remembering the Lord. Then Lord is giving one guarantee. One guarantee is there in the scriptures, and I will tell you so that you feel better about it and you feel good about performing devotional service. So all of you know Sripad Ramanujacharya. So there was a time where Sripad Ramanujacharya, he was in conversation with Kanchi Purna. Kanchi Purna is a devotee in Kanchipuram, and he is serving Varadaraja Perumal. And he was such a strong devotee that he used to personally fan the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord is talking to him, and he's fanning the Supreme Lord. That was Kanchi Purna. So Ramanujacharya will ask Kanchi Purna that, Kanchi Purna, I have got some questions, and in those questions, these two questions were important, which I want to mention here. One question was, he asked, Kanchi Purna to check with Lord whether Ramanujacharya, that is himself, is going to come back to him after this life. That was one question. And second question which Ramanujacharya asked Kanchi Purna was that, what if if a person who is practicing Krishna consciousness is unable to remember the Lord, what will happen to that devotee? So to answer these questions, Varadaraja Perimal very nicely, smilingly answered this question. So the second question he answered, he said, if somebody is not able to remember me in the end of the life, which is Ante Narayana Smriti, so I am going to remember them at the end of their life, because throughout the life they have served me. I am going to remember them. That was the assurance given by Varadaraja Perumal to Kanchipurna. And then Kanchipurna will ask the next question whether Ramanujacharya will go back to Godhead after this life. And Varadaraja Perumal very happily said, of course, he will go back to Godhead because he's serving my devotees. So hearing this, Kanchipurna had a doubt. So he thought, let me check about himself about. So Kanchipurna asked Varadaraja Perumal that, will I be going to, coming back to you after this life? And Kanchipurna was very, very confident that Lord will say, of course you will come, because you are fanning me personally, you are talking to me, then why would you not come? So Lord's response was surprising. He said, you are never going to come back to me like that. When the Lord told him, so Kanchipurna was surprised, Are, I'm personally fanning you. Then why I'm not going to come to you? So at that time, Lord says, You are fanning me, but you are not serving my devotees. So if you are not serving my devotees, then you will not come. You are never going to come to me. So this was the point Kanchipurna understood, and then we know the story how he started practicing Krishna consciousness, and then how Lord was so much pleased by him that he ate from his plate, Kanchipurna's plate. So that is Lord, he is so merciful and he loves his devotees. So we were discussing this point that in the end of the life, if we do not remember Krishna because of some disturbances in the mind, then Krishna is going to remember us, is the assurance given by the Lord. And the same thing is also clarified in Varaha Purana when Lakshmi Devi is asking Varahadev that what if your devotees in the end of the life, they have so many problems, their neck will be choked up, and they will have so many problems, the mind will be deluded. What if they do not remember you? So the Lord is saying this particular shloka in Varaha Purana. He says, Yadi vatadi doshena mad bhakto mam nacha smaret aham. He says, Aham smarni mad bhakta nayami param gatem. He says, if my devotee is unable to remember me at the time of death because of disturbances felt within the body at the time, then I shall remember my devotee and take him back to my supreme abode. And that is the verdict of Varaha Puran, where Varaha Devi is giving this answer to Lakshmi Devi. So see how merciful Lord is. He is saying that I am going to take care of you. So then what is our duty? Our duty is very simple, that do your prescribed duties, go to your office, do your job, go to your school, go to your college, study the students should study, and the people who are going to the office, they should be very, very efficient in their workplace, just like Arjuna. And they should not only work hard like a donkey, but they should always remember, the Lord in whatever situation they are, whatever they are doing, because we should know that the remembrance is coming from the Lord. Everything is coming from the Lord. In that attitude, we should practice Krishna consciousness, and we should set a right example in front of the people that yes, a devotee is a very perfect devotee, and a devotee never compromises on Krishna consciousness. So that's the beauty of Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada is saying, I was listening a Hindi lecture. So Prabhupada is saying, हम आपको ये नहीं कह रहे हैं कि तुम जंगल में चले जाओ. हम आपको इतना कह रहे हैं कि आप जहाँ पे हो वहीं पे रहो, लेकिन भगवान की भक्ति को स्वीकार करो, भगवान का नाम लो, हरि नाम जप स्वीकार करो. So that is what Prabhupada is saying in one of the Hindi lecture which I just recently heard. And many times people think I am very young. When I grow old, then I'll be fine. But then that is not the right understanding, because many people are dying without getting old. You know that, right? Nowadays, 30, 35, 40, and death can come any moment. That's the reality. So we should never think, and we should never think that we are going to grow old, then we are going to be very, very serious in Krishna consciousness. It will never happen. If we have done all nonsense activities throughout our life, then in the old age we will become all the more nonsense. Like in the banking industry nowadays, I'm in the AML field, so I see a lot of fraud schemes which are there in the market. So one of the most prevalent fraud scheme is the romance scam. You would have heard about it. I don't know if you know about it. So the romance scam is the scam wherein people, the most vulnerable people, the old people, they will get the messages from these people who pretend to be some lady, and they say, okay, I'm interested in you, I want to talk to you. And some ladies also, they will call, and then slowly they will fraud this person. They will take all his money. They will say, we will go to a foreign tour, please book a ticket for me, something like that. And this old person, he's thinking, I have got a nice opportunity now to enjoy with a young women. And then they will send the money for the ticket booking, hotel booking, and in their dreams they will be doing all this, and finally they will end up losing everything, the entire savings of their money which they have kept for their retirement, they lose because of this romance scam, which is there, very, very prevalent nowadays in the market. So see, people became old, but because the desire to enjoy was there, so they finally became the victim of the same thing, and then they lost their entire savings and money. So that is why Krishna conscious life is very nice life. It saves us with a lot of dangers and problems and situations which we do not know normally how people are suffering. But see, we are safeguarded. That itself is the greatest blessing of the Lord. So that was one point I wanted to mention, that it is never going to happen in the old age. And so these are the couple of points. I have some more points, but yes, in the interest of time, I would like to wind up for now. I will do a quick revision, whatever we have discussed. So we talked about Bhishma Dev, how powerful devotee he is, how voluntarily he accepted to fight against the Pandavas just by the instruction of the Supreme Lord. Then we understood that we should not learn from the movies or the TV serial where they show at the time of death, you will talk this, that story. No, it is not going to happen. We learned that death can come at any moment. We should be prepared for it, and we should prepare in such a manner that we should be able to remember the Lord at the end of our life. And in the scriptures in Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 8, Krishna has told how we should prepare our bodies. And then in Varaha Puran also very, very clearly, Lord has mentioned, that the people who are not able to remember me, devotees who are not able to remember me at the time of death, I'm going to remember them, and not only remember, but I'm going to take them back to my supreme abode. So what is our duty? Our duty is to do your job properly and always remember Krishna in whatever activities you're doing, and be happy in all the situations. We should not worry about all the so-called problems. These are only the situations which are created in front of us just to deviate us from Krishna consciousness, but we should never get deviated from Krishna consciousness. Remember, problems are temporary. It is only for some time. Like the sorrow is temporary, the same way problems are also temporary, happiness is also temporary. So we should never worry about the temporary things, but we should focus on the prime goal. And what is the prime goal? Prime goal is to attentively chant the holy name of the Lord, because it is the Yug Dharma, and learn from the scriptures, learn from the various devotees, work under the guidance of a senior Vaishnava. So I will stop here. If I have committed any mistakes, I seek forgiveness from all of you. Please forgive me for any misses. If you have any questions, please come on video or unmute yourself and ask your questions. If you have a comment also, please feel free to comment on the topic which we discussed today. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Patita Pavan Guru Maharaj ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.